Hi, it's Maggie the Irish Gypsy here to bring you your June 2020 general reading. We're looking at June 1st through the 15th, the first couple of weeks of June. And this reading is for the air sign of Aquarius. So welcome everyone. I hope that you are all safe and well, continuing to stay safe and well as things begin to loosen up and lift in terms of restrictions in some places. Hasn't 2020 been an interesting year so far? So thanks for everything that you do in support of this channel, all your likes, shares, subscribes, your donations, even if it's just taking the time to tune in and be with us today. Alright, so this reading is for Aquarius for the first 2 weeks of June. That's Aquarius Sun, Moon, Rising. If your Venus is in Aquarius, if you're cross-watching for an Aquarian, watch all of your signs if you know them. Your Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, they can all add different aspects to what's going on in your life today. If any of the readings do resonate with you and you'd like to reach out for a personal reading, take a deeper look at something, you can click on the description link below, click on that little arrow that pulls down info. You'll see some contact details there. You can email me directly at maggie1mcguire@gmail.com. I'd be delighted to work with you. I do readings full-time. It's all that I do, so I'm pretty diligent at working with everyone's schedules to get readings set up for you or with you as quickly as possible. So send me an email if you're interested. I'd be happy to work with you. All right, Aquarius, let's take a look at what the first 2 weeks of June have in store for you. For those of you who need to know, want to know, I am using Legacy of the Divine Tarot. And I know there's been some volume problems recently with the videos, so I have a new external microphone. It's kind of a cheap external microphone. I ordered a very nice conferencing one, but shipping being what it is these days, that one's taking longer to get here. So this one should at least improve the volume quality. Okay, Aquarius. We begin with the Page of Cups, followed by the Two of Swords, the Two of Coins. Coins is sometimes known as Pentacles in other decks, Earth energy, followed by the Lovers. From the bottom of the deck, we have the Knight of Cups. It's pretty clear here, and this may, it feels like a relationship reading. Whether it's a love and romance relationship reading or friendship or a work colleague, although this feels fairly personal. It looks like someone is making an offer, Aquarius, and you're just not having any of it. That's what it looks like to me. And now this could be, for some of you, I mean, this could be, you can reverse this, you can be on the other side of the tracks, but I mean, the overall energy for the first half of June is the Knight of Cups. Knights are known for charging forward. This is one of, and all of the Knights are known for being rather spontaneous, impulsive. All four of them, even the Knight of Coins or the Knight of Pentacles, even though he's slower because he's Earth energy. Knights are usually focused on one thing. They have a mission, a quest to accomplish. So this is the Knight of Cups, which is governed by the element of water, the Knight of Emotion. Emotion, your emotional landscape, relationships. So the Knight of Cups comes forward with an offer, an emotional offer, love, support, encouragement, promising the sun, the moon, and the stars. Sometimes the Knight of Cups, you know, the challenge for the Knights, particularly in personal relationships, is while they've grown and matured beyond the very young, childlike energy of the Page, they're very action-oriented, but they still tend to be rather spontaneous and impulsive because they haven't yet evolved and matured to the level of queens and kings. And Knights are known for coming in and going out and not typically staying. Sometimes they do, but they're not known for it because they have something they want to accomplish, something they want to deliver, and once they've done that, then they're kind of on to the next thing. So sometimes the challenge with the Knight of Cups is in the follow-through. He comes charging in, full of moonlight and romance and red roses and chocolate and bad poetry and all of that kind of thing. But sometimes he can't deliver in the long run in what he promises. It remains to be seen whether this is the case here or not. It's going to vary for everybody, of course. General readings always resonate a little differently for everybody. Let's clarify that before we move on. What is this Knight of Cups bringing or offering? I feel like for a lot of you, it's an offer coming in. For some of you, it might be you extending this offer, but I think for most of you, it's coming in. So let's see what this Knight of Cups is bringing. So he's offering everything, kind of wish fulfillment. The Nine of Cups, not quite the completion of the suit. That would be the Ten of Cups, which is the happy home. That's where everything connects together. Here we have the Nine of Cups, which is wish fulfillment. This is asking for what you want, getting everything that you want. Your cups are overflowing with abundance in a more visceral kind of sensual sense. Like, I'm going to give you all of these things and we're going to be happy, and it's just overflowing abundance and all of that kind of stuff. So there's definitely an offer coming in. This could be somebody you're already in a relationship with, someone you have some kind of connection with. I don't really feel like this is somebody new, because there's some resistance here, which implies that there's a prior connection. For some of you, it could be somebody new coming in and, trying to sweep you off your feet and promising the sun, the moon, the stars, I love you, we're going to be together and we're going to be happy, and I'm going to offer all of these things and it's going to be happily ever after. Abundance. Perhaps this person is coming forward not just with the verbal stuff, but with gifts as well. And beautiful messages of love, maybe flirtatious messages, whether it's in person or online or texting, etc. Because here we have, so this is like the focus for the first half of June. This is like the energy. Somebody's coming forward, with this beautiful, almost impossibly perfect offer. And I'm not quite sure why I say that, except I'm also channeling this feeling of many of you who are like, yeah, I'm not really into it. For some of you, it feels like somebody, it could be an apology to somebody trying to come into your life. Maybe okay, let me see if I can get this out in a cohesive way. I feel like for most of you, this is not a new person. This is somebody with whom you have some kind of relationship or some kind of prior connection. There's some reason here why there's resistance. I think for a lot of you, because we have the Two of Swords with the Lovers here, that this is probably for a lot of you either somebody that you're in a relationship with, and it's been a pretty connective relationship, or you have been and they're coming back in. They're coming back in with, messages, kind of fishing. The Page of Cups. Pages are when you look at the role of pages in the medieval world, they're runners. They're runners for messages. They take messages back and forth. So the Page of Cups would be messages. You could say messages of love. It's a Page of Cups, so often it's a questing kind of message, to see if you're still interested, to see if you're open to something. If there's been, perhaps a lot of issues, or there's been, the relationship has been kind of rocky, this would be somebody kind of tentatively approaching to see if, how you're feeling. Can I talk to you again? Can I apologize? I'm going to apologize and tell you that you're lovely and beautiful, and I'm sorry, and here's some gifts, and it won't happen again, and we'll just, as long as we can continue to be together, everything's going to be fine. I'm kind of getting this image that I got for one of the other signs for the June general so far. I don't remember which one, but the image of kind of a puppy who's, done something wrong or done something they weren't supposed to, and they've been chastised or shut out of the house, and they're kind of coming back in, tail wagging, hopefully to see what kind of mood you're in. Can we forget about it and be happy again? That's kind of the energy I'm getting. So what's clarifying the Page of Cups is the Two of Swords. No, not having it. Don't want to deal with this right now. It might not be an outright dismissal of this offer or apology or whatever it is that they're bringing with them, but it's definitely, an energy of, I don't want to deal with this right now. I don't want to hear you. I'm not going to make a decision about this right now. This is somebody who, you might feel stuck. There's a reluctance and a resistance to look at something, and the swords are out in front of you, versus the other deck that I commonly use for generals, the Gilded Tarot, where the swords are crossed. This person is holding them out in front of themselves, with this firm grip on them. They don't want to see. They're keeping these swords out. It's a very defensive, if you come near me, these swords are going to go right into you. It feels like a much more adamant, aggressively adamant, I don't want to deal with this right now. Again, it's not an outright no. It's just you don't want to hear whatever this message is, or you're not giving this message and what they're offering much credence. It feels like whatever happened between the two of you to cause this energy is still too fresh for you in the end of April, first week or so of June. Because we're only looking at the first 2 weeks of June. So this is more like end of April, first week of June. They're like, here, and I'm sorry, and here's all these things, and let's be together. If it's a relationship you're still in, or a relationship you've been in, and they're coming back in, because the energy feels pretty fresh. And the Lovers can imply a very connective, passionate relationship. But I often prefer the Two of Cups because it represents more of a friendship, true, sincere companionship sort of energy. The Lovers is very, passionate, fire-oriented, but it can also be, it can be that connective twin flame relationship, but those relationships can often be very up and down and tumultuous because the energy is so robust and, prone to flaring up quickly. So around the second week or so of June, we have the Two of Coins and the Lovers. So this is decision making, this is thinking about it. So in the previous week, no. I don't want to look at it, I don't want to hear it, I don't want to think about it, I don't want to deal with it. Because if I take the blindfold off and put my swords down, then I'm going to have to look at it, then I'm going to have to think about it, then I'm going to have to, make a decision about it eventually. You don't want to do that end of April, first week of June. Second week, you're thinking about it. Two of Coins. Do I do this? Do I do that? Perhaps staying busy at the same time. The Two of Coins can represent juggling a lot of things, particularly in your physical day-to-day life, while you're thinking about this offer. You're maybe more open in the second week to thinking about this message and this offer, and and the undercurrent, what clarifies the Two of Coins, is the Lovers, which is also about making decisions and choices. In the early tarot decks, this was often referred to as the choice. It was called the choice, and it showed a man standing in front of two women. Sometimes I saw one deck where it was a woman standing in front of two men. So the implication being that a decision needs to be made. And this is Major Arcana card, so this is very strong, significant energy. So whether the decision is about the relationship or it's about something else, but it's going to have an impact on the relationship, it's a big decision, it's going to have a big impact on this relationship. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're choosing between two people. It could be for some of you. It could be that you're with someone now and someone from the past is coming back, to say, look, I'm sorry, I'm still in love with you, blah, blah, blah. But for a lot of you, it just feels like it's focused on this one particular relationship. And again, the fact that we have the Two of Swords sitting next to the Lovers implies that there's already some relationship or some connection. So it looks like the second week, you're busy, you're going about, you're doing your thing, but there's this kind of undercurrent on the back burner. We have this decision, this choice simmering. You're thinking about it. You're doing your thing, you're thinking about it. Let's take a look at what this Two of Swords is about. Why the reluctance? Why the resistance? the Ten of Wands, because it's just too heavy. You want it to end. I mean, tens represent cycles ending, or a cycle fulfillment, or the absolute, the end fulfillment of the energy of that suit. Wands is fire energy. It's all about movement and action and change and power. But sometimes it can grow to be too much. With the completion of the Wands suit, the Ten of Wands here, it has become so heavy, so burdensome. And the artwork on this card versus the Gilded Tarot, which the same artist did both these decks, this is much more extreme. That one, in the Gilded Tarot, he's actually standing up with this bundle of 10 wands on his back, and he's bowed over. He can't stand up straight because it's so heavy, and he's getting ready to. He's approaching the place where he's going to be able to lay down and or dump these wands, whatever this burden is, and be free of it. In this deck, in the Legacy of the Divine, it's even more extreme. These wands are so heavy. I'm just thinking, they're shaped in a triangle on his back, and it's a three-sided shape. So I mean, for some of you, there might be a third-party situation in here, or maybe there was in the past, so there was infidelity, and maybe that's what caused the rift or the break between the two of you. It could be that for some of you. I'm just kind of pinged me in the back of my head. But in this one, I mean, the burden's so heavy, he's not even on his knees. He's on his belly, clawing for every single step, clawing towards this place. His head is up. He's looking at that end destination where he can be free of this burden. So that's the energy behind this reluctance and this resistance initially, with this message, with this offer of somebody coming in. It feels apologetic to me, what the other person is bringing back, like they've done something wrong, they've hurt you, and they're coming back, with a message and an apology, and I won't do it again, and I'm offering all of this, and here's some gifts and all of this stuff, and you're just like, it's too much. It's grown to be too much. I always feel a long-standing energy off the Ten of Wands, because it doesn't ever start off with the Ten of Wands. It starts off with a 1 and the 2, and then gradually over time it becomes too much effort, too much burden. Perhaps you had to carry the bulk of this relationship, or you felt like you were the one taking it along and fixing everything and not getting enough in return. It didn't have that beautiful symbiotic flow of give and take. And right behind this Ten of Wands is the Two of Cups, the traditional soulmate card. So you do have the Two of Cups and the Lovers, which is what may make this particularly difficult for you, because you feel so connected to this person. You feel like this person is your soulmate, your twin flame, or you're karmically connected. That's what's showing up here. But for some reason, something has happened between the two of you, whether it was one particular event. But the Ten of Wands usually isn't about one particular event. It's usually about a history. I heard something. I mean, when the Ten of Wands shows up in relationship, it reminds me of something I heard in a poem or a saying, that love typically, when you lose love for someone, or when love dies in a relationship, it usually doesn't die all of a sudden. Love usually dies a very slow death. It dies of, I can't remember how it was phrased, something very poetic. It dies of tarnishing and withering and slow starvation. So when the Ten of Wands shows up in a relationship, it's kind of like, it's just been too much, one thing after the other, and it's just over time gotten to be too heavy and burdensome. So that's the energy, around the end of April, first part of May, or sorry, I keep saying end of April, I don't know why. The end of May, the first part of June. Sorry about that. Time seems to blur into each other these days, doesn't it? So the end of May, first part of June, it's like, you don't want to hear this initially, you don't want to deal with this initially, because it's just too much. It's just too much. Second week of June, it looks like you're more amenable. You're at least amenable to making the decision, to thinking about making the decision. Even though what complicates it, or what makes it extraordinarily difficult, is that even though you feel this very strong karmic bond with this person, it's just, you want this to end. It can't go on like this. This person's on their belly, clawing their way through to the ground. So, and it's only a very short period of time. It's not like a month or a 6-month overview. So let's just pull one card, ask for one card for advice, guidance, and feedback for Aquarius on what's the best way to navigate through this energy for the first 2 weeks of June. What's the advice for Aquarius in this situation for the first 2 weeks of June? Take a break. Continue to do your thing. The Four of Swords, you know, I often see this card come up when someone's just feeling tired, they're feeling worn out, they're feeling exhausted, and they just need to take a step back from it. The implication with the Four of Swords is that it's temporary. You're going to have to go back and deal with it at some point, one way or the other. But for now, you need to take a break. You need to rest, you need to recuperate, because that's the only way you're going to make a good, informed decision. When you make decisions in the heat of the moment, when you're feeling tired, worn out, exhausted, hungry, angry, we tend to make decisions we don't always feel right about afterwards. So this is about taking a step back, resting, recuperating, and of course, because this is how you feel, you know, it's exhausting. It's exhausting carrying this relationship or dealing with whatever you've been dealing with over and over and over again. So at least for the first 2 weeks of June, take a step back, take a break, don't engage. This is not a card of saying yes or saying no definitively. This is a card of, I can't make the decision right now because I'm still feeling all of this too much. I need to take a step back. You need to let me take a step back, respect my boundaries, and I'll deal with this in a little while. So that's your advice. So Aquarius, that is your reading for the first 2 weeks of June. I hope you found it helpful and useful. If you did and you'd like to reach out for a personal reading, take a deeper look at something, just click on the description link below, click on that little arrow. You'll see my email address there, Maggie1McGuire@gmail.com. I would be delighted to work with you. Just send an email and I will send you some information the same day or within the first 24 hours. And we'll go from there. I will see you all again in a couple of weeks for the June 2020 mid-month general readings, Aquarius. Until then, stay safe and well. And I wish you many blessings, and I hope to see you back here again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.